The HTC Incredible software is a combination of two main things, Android 2.1 and HTC Sense. So these two things mesh together and overlap actually in a bunch of different areas. But I don't think that we can forget about the contribution the hardware has to the success of the software. So the 1 gigahertz Snapdragon processor really comes into play when you're talking about the snappiest Android device that I've personally seen off the bat. We've seen other Android phones kind of struggle, and other HTC Android phones struggle to really process the newest Android features or HTC Sense features. This, even with widgets loaded up like the stock widget and a Twitter and friend stream and a bunch of stuff going on, you can see it's super quick. And as you download more applications and games to your phone, it'll weigh down harder, but out of the box, this seems to be pretty darn good. And I've made a lot of customizations to the phone, but the hardware is definitely enabling the software to do a nice, crisp, clean job of displaying Android and letting the user interact. Alright, so I've got the phone turned off. I'm going to turn it back on and use this to show you an example of what HTC Sense is all about. So I make the phone live again. I'm going to swipe down to unlock, and you see those clouds going by? That's part of the HTC weather widget. And pretty much Android by itself, Android 2.1 and what Google's done with Android, is really the basics. You've got your icons, and they're starting to add nice things here and there. Now Google's added their own weather widget, but it's much more basic, and it ensures that the user has a good experience, can get from A to B, can do all the basic stuff. But HTC has taken that user experience and dressed it up in a really sexy outfit. And that's what you get with HTC Sense. So not only is there the weather widget, but there are a ton of their own widgets, and some of them are really cool, like the weather widget, stock widget, Twitter widget, YouTube widget. Some of these are made by Android, or Google and Android, and you can get more widgets as well. So you can select menu, settings, and have it update automatically, so when new widgets are available, you'll be able to grab them. The newest widget of HTC Sense is called Friend Stream, and it's much like Motorola Blur in that it tries to condense and consolidate all your social interactions online into one convenient place. So right now I have it pulling from my Facebook and the Fandroid Twitter feed. You can see the FCC making updates, Facebook friends, Tim Bray's Twitter, John from Phone Dog or Droid Dog. There's a Fandroid. The FCC looks like they've been busy. American Visionary Art Museum, which if you're in Baltimore is an awesome museum to go to. So this is the typical widget that we see, the bigger widget. There's two different widgets that you can add to your home screen. This is the big one, which shows your news, and we can add our own tweet or message or whatever. There's some options over here, so we can choose where we want to update it. Right now, as I said, I have Facebook and Twitter on. I can type an update there or go to the top, and now there's a lot of different updates. Over here, this shows all updates. You can show only status updates, only photo updates. Then we also have links, so you can kind of drill down into exactly what you're looking for. The other one over here is the smaller widget if you just want to quickly tell your friends what you're doing, so that just from your home screen you can tap an update. Okay, so let's see. Yes, I want to update to Facebook and Twitter. Actually, I'll just update to Twitter because most of my Facebook friends probably don't care. And there we go. Update tweeted successfully. I think Friend Stream's a really nice option, so that instead of having a Facebook widget and a Twitter widget and whatever other widget, you can just, when you have a few minutes, go through your Friend Stream widget and get an update of everything that's going on with all your friends. So it could be overwhelming for some people, it could be underwhelming for some people. It could be you love it, could be you like it, could be you hate it. But remember, it's Android and it's customizable, so it's nice that the option's there. If you don't like it, either don't add it or hold it down and throw it away. Another widget I really like is the Today in History widget. I don't think enough people, especially Americans, are up to date with current events, let alone historical events. So I think it's pretty neat to have a little Today in History, which shows, you know, events in world history, assassination of Conrad Montferrat, and you can also see famous people who were born on this day and deaths of the day. So pretty neat if you ask me. But all this fits into a bigger picture. I mean, the widgets and everything, this is just a small part of HTC Sense. So let's kind of double back and talk about HTC Sense as a whole for a minute. Oh yeah, one quick thing. The stocks widget, which I love, thought it was pretty interesting how all the stock information is provided by Yahoo Finance. Now, HTC Sense is really built on 3 different themes, I guess, which are widgets, which are the things you put on the home page on your home screen, home screens, which there are 7 of, and then scenes, which are groupings of different 7 home screens. Now, in the new version of HTC Sense, HTC's added something called helicopter view. So if I'm on the home screen already, and I can either pinch to do it, and when I pinch in, it shows me all 7 screens on there right now. So I can also do it just by pressing the home button while I'm already on the home. So if I do that, it'll bring this up. You can see there are different HTC scenes, so you can switch between your scenes and you can add new scenes, save current scenes, and basically saving the scene means saving different widgets and icons on the home screen where you want them. One thing I wish helicopter view could do is swipe between scenes. I think it'd be great if, you know, here I have my play scene, and if I could just swipe to the right, and to the right there'd be a work scene, my sports scene. So not only are you allowed to go from looking at individual widgets and adding those, but also looking at your helicopter view and then swiping between your scenes. Some people aren't in love with HTC Sense and they'd prefer to turn it off and use the regular Google experience. So, I mean, you can just drag and drop widgets into the trash can and let go to remove them, but there isn't a way to turn HTC Sense off in the settings, as some people had requested that ability. So just a heads up, if you hate HTC Sense for some reason, I don't see why you would, but you can't turn it off completely. Let's talk about Android 2.1 and a few of the new features that come along with it, including live wallpapers, Google navigation, and voice to text. Now here you can see an example of a live wallpaper, which is essentially an animated wallpaper that you can interact with. You can see the little leaves are flying around, and this all occurs behind your widgets, behind your icons, but you can also interact with them. So if I press somewhere on the screen, you can see the water ripple. Now there are tons of different wallpapers that you can choose from, and I'm sure there are ones on Android Market you can choose as well, and some of them interact with different kinds of information, such as the audio visualization, which shows waveforms of whatever music you're currently playing. Some people say the live wallpapers are an unnecessary strain on the processor, and if things start to get laggy and you really like the wallpapers, I mean, that'd be a reason to take it off, but it shouldn't be too much of a big deal, and I can tell you that it doesn't seem at all like a big deal off the bat. Google navigation isn't specific to Android 2.1. It actually launched with Android 2.0 on the Motorola Droid and has been made backwards compatible for previous versions of Android since, but I really wanted to point out that it is available on the Droid Incredible, and not only through this application, which makes using Navigate and other features easy from your car. This is called Car Panel, but also anywhere pretty much within Android where you're getting an address, you're being asked for directions in Google Maps, you'll have the option to navigate that. So I think that's really cool. You'll see over here on the left there's voice search. Voice to text. Now, pretty much every Android phone has this. If you hold down the search, HTC Incredible Android Forums, it'll search Google for what I say, and you can see up there it's got it correctly, HTC Incredible Android Forums, and there we go, so we can get it right there. That's cool, that's great, that's wonderful. You can also use it with Google navigation and hold down the search and say navigate to and then your destination. But now with Android 2.1, Google has taken this text to search, or this voice to text, and made it possible in pretty much everywhere there's a text field. So here I am ready to type a text message, and by the way, here's the portrait QWERTY for HTC Sense, and go ahead and show you the landscape view. Both are pretty nice. But anyways, you know, we've got this message we want to send, and it's going to be really long, and we don't want to go through the pain of typing the whole thing. So we can just press this little voice button here. Hey Rob, when are you going to post the HTC Incredible review? We have been waiting forever. Please will you post it? I love Android. The end. And let's see. Hey bro, when are you going to post the HTC Incredible review? We've been waiting forever. Please leave posted. I love the Android. The end. So pretty close. It doesn't always get it right. I'm not going to pretend like it does. But in my mind, a lot of times it's easier to say the whole thing and then do it over. Just remember, kind of speak like a robot. And usually it will come out more often than not. So I love this. My favorite new feature of Android 2.1. Definitely voice to text in more places.